Good day, good people, and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I am your host, Michelle Dawsbird, and as always, I am super excited to be here. You like that? You like that? I am. I'm super excited. Listen, I know I've missed you guys. I did take the month of April off. I did. I did. I needed some time, parenting and just working, and life was lifing. And so I typically don't leave you guys. In the 8 years I've been doing this.
Right.
Yeah, so welcome to season 9.
Season 9!
Yes! Welcome to season 9. Like I said, I'm super excited. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm just so excited to be here with you. I wanted to thank all of our new listeners, and let me give you a little bit about what Real Chicks Rock's all about. We're all about creatively collaborating and connecting to raise awareness regarding issues that impact women. And we do it by way of public speaking, mentoring, and workshops, and this platform. We've been doing it, like I said, 8 years. We started our very first podcast April 14th, 2016.
Wow, that's awesome.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
That's nice. So we're not new to this. We're not new to this.
You're true to this.
Yeah, we're true. I am true to this. And today is no different. I have had the distinct pleasure of having some people that I feel are subject matter experts in the things that they do professionally. And I think today's conversation is good today. Today's topic is Let's Chit Chat with my guest, Carla Morrison. Hi, Carla.
Hey, Michelle.
I like Carla. Carla has great energy. I wish you could be in the room with me with Carla, because Carla is one of those people that when you meet her, you're like connected with her for the rest of your life. Like, she doesn't let you go. She remembers you. She remembers your name. She remembers where you met, how you connect. She's just really good at what she does. And I always take a moment, stop giving people their flowers when they're gone. Right. We really need to do better in giving people their flowers while they're alive and well, and to receive them, because you never know what's going on with people. And your little bouquet of flowers, just complimenting them, could be right on time when they need it, right? Because Carla's been out here doing this stuff for 30 years. 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Carla, where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from the Elm City, New Haven, Connecticut. We call it the Elm City. I'm proud, because I know they gonna follow us and watch this.
Yeah. So how was Connecticut growing up as a kid? Cold?
Well, when you're there, you don't think of that. You're just growing up, And for us, although people think otherwise, there are black people in Connecticut. There are a lot of black people in New Haven. And I grew up in a black world.
Did you really?
Yes. I had some other, who were my teachers, but I also had black teachers who were awesome and came from the South and came up north and taught us.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So did you spend summers in the South, or you?
Did not at all. My mother and father are from the South. My mother's from West Virginia. My father's from Alabama, and never went to the South until I was, I want to say, 17 years old for a family reunion in Alabama.
Okay.
But I didn't grow up in the South. I grew up in New Haven. Every summer was in New Haven.
Okay.
For years, I ran track for the New Haven age group track team. Shout out to Mr. Barber.
All right.
And since 1976, that's when I started running.
Wow.
And I ran until 84 or something like that. Yeah. So that's what I did.
Your flavor or your behaviors, Carla, feel you could pass for an up northerner person, and you have that southern hospitality too. So it's like you wear both hats. Well, that's why I was asking, did you spend summers in the South at all? So this is just in your bloodline.
Yeah, it's who I am. And my mom, she's a sweet woman, and everybody likes my mom.
All right.
So, when you're little, you grow up, you watch your mom, and you do, your behaviors are like your mom. But I do have that straightforwardness like my father, even though he's from the South as well. He don't play no games. He don't play no games.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. And you're that, you can be that way too, but you're very nice with it.
No.
You're very nice, Carl. You're a nice person. I want to talk about, so this is New Haven, and so how do we decide our college? Like, how did we pick a major? Like, how did that happen for you? How did that, tell me about that.
For us in New Haven, we had the distinct pleasure of having Dr. Dow as our superintendent of New Haven Public Schools.
Okay.
And he said, all my kids going to school.
I heard that.
He was not playing with us.
Okay.
And so he said, you know what, if I got to rent this bus and send y'all on a HBCU back then in 1987 on a tour so y'all can figure out what school you're going to, y'all going to school. And that's what he did. And actually he did it before 87. It probably was like maybe 86.
Yeah.
The school, we started going. So we went on our college tour, and when I went to Bowie State, the man who was presenting us, he was so awesome. I was like, I'm going to Bowie State. But I didn't end up going there first, even though that was the plan. But I had also applied to Central State in Ohio because I wanted to be like Oprah, and I didn't pick Tennessee State like her, but I was like, well, this is kind of close. And, you know, maybe I can make something of myself. And so I ended up going to Central State in Ohio first.
How was that for you?
It was far, and it was good, but not so good. And I say that just because it was so far away, and I just was not used to being that far away from my family, my sister especially, and so it was time to kind of come closer. So going to Bowie State, where I originally planned, was only 30 minutes from my sister who was at Morgan State. And I couldn't go to Morgan because I was already known as Jeanette's little sister in my hometown. Like, that is my name. If I go home, that's my name, Jeanette's little sister. It is not Carla Morrison.
It wasn't Carla?
Never Carla. It was Jeanette's little sister. And so with that, I said, nah, I can't go to Morgan State, you know, especially after the one experience when I went and visited with her, and her friends took me to a dance. She didn't go because she was not feeling well or whatever. And I went to the dance, met some boy, and was dancing with him. Next thing you know, all her friends swarmed me. It was like, Carla, where were you? Your sister would kill us. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm just dancing. And after that, I was like, I definitely ain't going to Morgan.
Yeah, because they would be checking you and monitoring your every move.
Yeah,
I got you.
And I was a good girl, but it's just like, I don't need that. Like, I'm going to be my own person one day.
Yeah, I got you. So Bowie State. So did you go sophomore year or junior?
Sophomore year. I transferred to Bowie after my freshman year at Central State, and hopped into my major. I was already planning to be communications, but going into my second year, I was able to actually take the classes. Because like I said, I wanted to be like Oprah Winfrey, but I also wanted to be a businesswoman because I took business classes in high school. I was the president of Future Business Leaders of America. And so I was just like, this is what I want to do. And then I had met my cousin. We have a really huge family from my father's side in Alabama. And so he has all these cousins, and all his cousins have kids. And we have these big family reunions every year in August. And so one of my cousins, who I didn't know well, but I would recognize her because she was the only cousin who had hair down to her behind.
Wow.
Her name was Stacy Murray. And once I got to talk to her and meet her, and she ended up going to school with my sister, I was like, what do you do? Because she would always be with celebrities and stuff. And she was like, I do public relations. I'm a publicist. I'm like, a publicist? What is that? You know? And then when she started explaining, I was like, it sounds like you babysitting up. And she said, pretty much. But it was more to it than that. But it sounded like that initially. And I was like, well, I love the stars and I love New Edition. And I wanted to figure out how I can connect with New Edition. And so with that, I was like, you know what? It's a whole story, girl, but I gotta get something.
She said it's a whole story. You wanted to connect with New Edition. I wanted to ask you, go ahead. I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of what public relations is and a publicist? I mean, we got it from your cousin with the hair, but what is your definition of that?
So public relations is so many things, but to break it down for like just anybody to understand, we connect you with your public.
Okay.
And we do it, of course, our tools that we use are media and social media. Mm-hmm. And I say media, I'm talking TV, radio, and print.
Okay.
And so that's just the layman's way of breaking it down, because when I talk to people, and I have a lot of friends who are outside of communications, and they're like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I set people up with interviews.
Okay.
Just to make it simple, because to try, it's so much that we do.
Yeah.
It's hard to just explain.
Yeah.
Like that, public relations is, because they're like, I still don't get it. But you get when you see Jay-Z doing an interview on Oprah.
Okay.
You know what that is? The person, there was somebody who set that up. I did that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Not me personally.
But the role of that person.
Yes.
Okay, so you're key, because you're the person that helps get people out in front of, exposure, and out in front of other people to get them more exposure.
Right. We amplify your message, whatever your message is. If you have a message, and if you don't have one, we create your message.
Yeah.
And we then amplify it. So we can play dual roles here. It's not just one thing. We can create a whole campaign that some of the artists that you see, they are not who you see, but there was somebody who created this image and then shared it with the world. And they just kind of play that role. And then, like when you meet them, you're like, you're not like I thought you were. Yeah, because I got a PR person, a damn good one who created this. And that's just in music, but there's also, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I got you.
I am of that season. For real.
It's all right. Do you find, Carla, that most of your people, you have to do a lot of PR work to get them where they need to be? Or you find that they're so when you say, that's not the person who we thought they were.
Right.
Do you find that, and oftentimes they're off the mark once you've built up this image for them, or?
Well, not for me, because I'm really authentic in the people and businesses that I work with. But that can be the case for, like some of my colleagues, we talk, we share, and that is the case. And it's just like trying to keep them on track. At this point in my career and in my life personally, I just can't deal with that. So you got to be authentic. And whoever you are, I can create the PR around that. I don't care who you are or what you've done. I can create a story around you that is true to who you are. And we'll find your audience.
Have you always been this confident, Carla, in helping people find their voice, or helping them be, exposing the people? Because that's I think that we got you some water.
Thank you.
It's I feel like for you to be a PR person, you got to be solid in who you are. Maybe I'm wrong in understanding that. And then you're very comfortable in helping other people identify who they are, and sharing that with the world. So did you find that to be difficult to do, and how did you stumble on that talent for yourself?
Well, so some of that is just inner self, and like my mom always said, Miss Carla. She calls me Miss Carla.
Okay, Mama calls you Miss Carla.
Yeah, Miss Carla.
Miss Carla.
Because she said Carla came out the chute thinking she was important. So a lot of who you see is, I just came out that way. I don't mean to make you feel any kind of way or anything. That's just, I came out that way, and I'm a caring person.
Yeah, you are.
And as a little girl, my mother used to model, and she'd be putting on her makeup. I was the one who was her helper, and I've always been everybody's helper. My sister ran for the queen of our high school. I was her campaign manager, and she won too. They don't know my name, but they damn sure know my sister's name. Yeah, she won. And I say that to just say I've always been a helper. I've always I never was afraid. And the times that I didn't feel confident, it wasn't because I was scared. It was because I had been beat down so much.
Okay.
And that came when I moved to Atlanta.
Talk to us about that, Carla. What happened? What had happened, Carla? We got this for you. Go on.
You got both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You good. What had happened?
No. I mean, it's so many things, just experience. You know, life experiences. So I became a woman when I came to Atlanta.
Right now.
I came to Atlanta when I was 23. 23 years old.
Okay.
No, 24. I'm sorry. And before that, you know, I went to Bowie State.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in New Haven, Connecticut, and I was just always very comfortable with who I am.
Right.
And so this little chocolate girl came to Atlanta walking around like she light-skinned, if you get the joke. And that joke it's always been between me, my mother, and my sister. My mother is actually light brown, beautiful woman.
Yes.
And me and my sister are both dark skinned.
Yeah.
And my father's dark skinned. And so, you know, we laugh about that, you know, just being confident. Like, you walking around like you light skinned, because, you know, we say, you know, light skinned people.
Yeah.
But again, all of that comes from watching the lady I had right there in my house. Right at my, you know,
your fingertips.
tips.
Yeah.
She confident. So why wouldn't I be?
Shouts out to Mom. She did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because oftentimes, Carla, for dark-skinned women, I'm gonna speak on, you know, sometimes there's a disconnect in the sense of confidence and knowing that wherever you plant your feet, that's where you belong, right? And sometimes we don't learn that till later in life, right? Yeah. So the fact that you grew up with that energy is awesome, because now the world is in the palm of your hands, right? You could do whatever you need to do. So you came to Atlanta. Atlanta was a different time then, wasn't it?
It was very different.
It was fun, right? It was fun.
It was fun. I just think about, like, the people that I met when I first got here. I did have a fear before I moved. I will never forget, I said this to one of my friends. I was like, what if I don't make any friends? That was my fear, like not making friends to be comfortable enough with, to share with, to hang out with, to, like, you know, maybe even spend the holidays with if I wasn't able to make it home. And my friend said, who's the most honest, but she can be a hater too, but very honest. She said, Carla, you'll make friends. Yeah. And her saying that, I believed her, because she's very honest, but, you know, she could be, you know, a hater. What my cousin called it is a frenemy. A frenemy. Yeah, she's a frenemy. And she said, Carla, you'll make friends. And I was like, you think? She was like, of course. And I was like, oh, I hope so. Because I don't want to be there. I was going to be there myself, you know. And, you know, I don't know if I made a lot of friends, but a lot of people know me. And in certain areas, when I'm in certain places, I feel like, ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I'm good. Like, I know if something happened, this person got my back.
You know a lot of people, a lot of people know you. You walk in the room and it's like family reunion. They love you. I want to ask you, Carla, do you remember your first client in Atlanta when you got here?
Yeah, I will never forget. I love this man. I love this man. And I tell him that every so often. I'll be like, you know, you are a part of my history. Like, you're going to be in my obituary.
There you go. Okay.
Cornelius Bennett, he was an NFL player. And he had played for the Buffalo Bills and was a really good linebacker. I mean, very good. He should be in the Hall of Fame, honestly. Right. And he had moved to Atlanta a year after I did, actually. Okay. And I met him at Q Sweat's Club. You remember Q Sweat's Club off of Cheshire Bridge? Yeah. And I was there. Then we all went there.
Me too.
Yeah,
and it had a pretty long run too.
It
did last for a long time. Yeah.
It did.
So y'all met there.
Yeah, they had acknowledged him, and I was like, and I didn't really know sports. I had still been trying to learn sports. I had learned a little bit more about basketball, because my thing was always the music industry. Yes. I had learned a little bit about basketball and football. I didn't know that much about, but they acknowledged him, and so I went right over to him. I'm like, hi, I'm Carla Morrison. I'm with CHIT Communications. I do public relations. He was like, that's just what I need. And that was the first time out of the whole year that I had been in Atlanta that somebody responded that way. That's what I need. And I was like, well, bam. I was like, here's my card.
Wow.
Let's talk.
Wow.
And he was like, all right, you know. And so after that, I didn't hear from him. And I'm like, well, I know where he works. Let me call there. And the thing that was so amazing and great, it was great. He's a football player. The NFL is a business.
Yes.
And you call the business to get in touch with them, you know, and they receive their messages, you know. And he did. Because I kept calling. Yes. Like, it's not... Like, they're real business. And so I was like, this is cool. Because I was like, I know where he work at. Let me call this man. Because he, you know, he said he needed me. And that was my first time ever getting that. So there's something here, you know. And I called. And then one day, I will never forget it. I was just sitting at home. And the phone rang. And it was that other ring. So I knew it was the business call. And I'm like, Chit Chat Communications. And he was like, Carla. And I was like, yes. And he was like, this Cornelius. I'm like, Cornelius. Cornelius Bennett.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah. So, you know, let's meet up and talk. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah.
Did you find, so what exactly did he need? Was it just him shifting from NFL? Like, what was the goal? How did you PR for him?
So he was new to Atlanta. And I mean, everybody knew he was coming because he was with the Buffalo Bills, and at that time they was big.
Yeah, everybody knew that name.
And so, but he just needed to establish himself
here in Atlanta.
As I am a player now for Atlanta Falcons, and I'm here to win. We here to win. I'm here to help them win. And I'm here for the community. And I did just that. I laid it out. We had our first reception at the Hammond's house in the community. That's the West End.
That's the West End. Still standing strong, too.
That's still standing strong. And I still know those people from there. Yes. And it was a beautiful event. We had an ice sculpture. The mayor at the time was Bill Campbell. He came out. I was friends with everybody at Hot 97.5. They all came, and I was like, thank y'all so much, because we were all like coming up. We were all the same age, in our early 20s, and it was like they all came represented. The whole football team came. My sister came from New Haven, and she was helping. She got off that plane. As soon as she got off that plane, she had rented a car, and she was just like driving different places. My sister came through for me.
She got who you had her for high school.
I
was her campaign manager. I know that's right. So you said Hot 97. Is that the Ryan Cameron era, the Rashawn Ali? Well, that whole time was she on there?
Wasn't there, but it was Ryan.
It was Cameron. Ryan for sure.
Ludacris was his intern.
That's
at the time.
Right. I remember.
Princess Ivory, that was my girl. She's still my girl. Me and her call each other twins because our birthday on the same day, born the same year.
Wow.
Art Terrell. Yep, he was there. Ebony.
Yeah,
you remember Ebony?
Yeah.
All of them. They're still my friends to this day.
Well, why wouldn't people want to be your friend, Carla? You're a nice person. Like you said, you're very caring. And the fact that you came at a time when the thing that we like about Atlanta is that these people are within arm's reach. You know, I think in any other metropolis, it might be a little bit more difficult to get to them. But it's something about the way the infrastructure is in Atlanta that you're one person away from the person you're trying to get to. In this case, it was a phone call away. And it just opened up doors. And so from that, you've had other exciting clients. And it just kept going. Like, so your name was in people's mouth.
Well, because I was like probably one of the first sisters to have a major player in Atlanta at that time. And nobody wasn't really nobody had a personal PR person.
Right.
Who does
they
that?
didn't even know what that was.
Right, they didn't. They didn't. You know? And it was like, here I go, this little young black girl being this major player's PR. Like, the whole Falcons front office didn't look like us. And they was trying to figure out, well, who is she?
Who is she?
You know, and they even kind of said it. They made it a little difficult for me, and I all I could do was tell Cornelius. And Cornelius was like, that's my person.
Wow.
Like straight up. Like he definitely for the people. And I was like, all right, Cornelius, you know, and he made me a part of his like family.
Yeah.
Every Sunday home game. That evening they would have a little set over to his house. Carla, you coming over, right? Oh, well, I was just gonna no, you coming over. I was like, okay, you know. And so it was good. That was a good time, and people were more sincere, I think, during that time. And I don't know.
So what's the vibe? I'm gonna jump a little bit. So what's the vibe you feel now as it relates to public relations, a publicist? Do you feel that people still need that, Carla, or they think that they don't because they have social media? What say you?
People think that they don't because they have social media, and now we have AI coming. But what I know for sure, and it was just proven to me just the other day, having your systems all automated, that's nice.
Yes.
But the personal touch, and this is Terry Williams, the PR godmother. She wrote the book on this. I'm telling you, back in 1989, this lady wrote the book on this.
Right.
And it stands so true that personal touch means everything. Personal relationships mean everything. I can have all my AI stuff set up, and you, as soon as you contact my website or go on my website, you might pay to have a consultation with me, and I might ask you a series of questions on that. But if I don't read it and thoroughly understand and have a real conversation with you, not a timed one, I'm not probably going to understand what you say. That just happened to me on some legal stuff. Yeah. Right? So I know that. But I've always believed in what she wrote. She wrote the Bible for PR, the personal touch, and it's important. You need it. I have those relationships, and I've been building them for 30 years, not just in Atlanta, in New York, in LA, across this world. And if I don't know you personally, I know somebody that does know you, who has that authentic relationship with you. Because I come from a small hometown. And it's just like my hometown. I'm claim to fame. I know everybody in my hometown, and I take pride of that. You know,
and they know you.
And if I don't know them, I know your aunt, your uncle, your mama, your daddy, your brother, somebody. And so I think I take that same approach when I'm doing PR and knowing the players in every realm, be it government, cultural. Whatever.
Entrepreneurs, restaurants, music, athletes, everything. It's like you can be a jack of all trades. Like the what you bring to the table, no respect of person, because you're going to build a model to work with them to get them out there. Carla, do you think that if people attending college, what's the better route or the best route, in your opinion, to be a publicist or a PR person? Is it the communication space, or would it be marketing or business, or a little bit of all three?
I don't know.
That's the part where you say, that's a good question.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Because it made you go, because you had to think about it. Yeah.
So, well, see, for me, I kind of did all three. That's why I'm like,
that's why you're good.
Like I majored in media management. So I took communications courses and business courses. I always wanted to be a businesswoman. Because my mother had a bunch of Essence magazines at home that I would look at and see all these powerful looking black women. I would go to my high school. My teacher, Miss Moore, would have these same magazines or different ones with powerful women on it. And she was in charge of FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America. And I'm like, I got to join that because I want to be one of those women. I didn't know what business was, but I knew I wanted to be powerful with a suit on and do something. You know, like that's, you know, when you were in high school, you don't know.
Yeah, but, you don't know.
You know, but and so I think majoring in, you know, business and journalism, it was a mix. It was still media. It was communications. Majoring in that, and then interning. I interned all over the place. All of those things can help you to become a master. And then I think just kind of getting out there and learning your voice, understanding your voice.
That part, you know? Carla. that part. Because I think in this day and age, it's emoji driven, it's texting, it's very short conversations, 160 words in certain spaces. And I think we're losing the skill or the art of communication. And just, and to your point, having a voice. So what is it that you want of me? How can I help? How do we connect? It seems to be a little blurred for me. And we're trying to keep up, right? For those of us that are like, yeah, we know we're getting older, but we ain't sitting in a rocking chair, right? We still out in the game. We know what it is. And just like when we came up, someone extended a branch to us or a hand to us that might have been seasoned in the profession or believed in us. And we want to do that too, right? But we're also still learning, because this is a different platform for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's not just learning a computer, turning it on and pressing enter and keying. No. It is a whole bunch of things, creating movies, little reels and this and that, just to be current and applicable to grab people's attention. And so it's a matter of how do we bridge that gap? Because again, people think I'm an influencer. I don't need a PR person, right? Because if I tell people to go and do this, they go ahead and do it. It's 100. I get all these likes and, you know, and then now here comes the sponsors and, you know, so I got a brand. So it's difficult, but then there's still people that don't know how to get that audience. And so I would ask you, Carla, when someone comes into your space wanting your services, what are some of the things that you do initially? Is it the consultation, getting to know them? And what kind of information should they be prepared to share or bring with you in order to make this marriage work?
Well, a part of it is understanding what their goals are. And so, you know, what is your goal? Just like straight up asking them, what's your goal? You know, understanding that it's so funny. Some of my clients have been people who have been good friends for a long time. So over the years, and I'll never forget one of my clients who's a barber, he needed a bio written. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, he told me he needed it written. Never gave me no information. And I came back to him like 2 weeks later when he needed it. And I was like, oh, I got your bio for you. And he was like, how you got my bio? I ain't give you no information. I was like, I know who you are. I've been with you since Cornelius Bennett.
Okay, that's a long time.
Yeah, because that's when I met him at the reception that we did for Cornelius. And then 20 years or 25 years later, he needs a bio.
He needs a bio. I ain't waiting that long. I've only known you a year. I'm coming on in. I'm getting my resources together. But I'm flying. I'm going to land this plane. Because there's just no way, because you have had connections, and because of Cornelius Bennett, referrals. You've worked with some pretty prominent people in the Atlanta metropolitan area, and they have a bigger audience. And so I'm tipping my hat to you, because you are part of their branding, right? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I am actually. But we gotta. It's so funny because Cornelius, and I love him, and having him as a client it helped me to connect with probably people it would have took maybe a little longer to connect with, in terms of becoming good friends with all the radio people that I became friends with. But I was going to know them regardless because I'm a go-getter. However, at one point when Cornelius, he moved. He went on to Indianapolis. I went back to New Haven and did some things. And when I came back, I was no longer Carla the PR lady. I was now Carla the community woman.
Really?
Yeah, because I also had a nonprofit for the past 13 years called Sisters of Today and Tomorrow. And so what I did, though, I took what I had been doing forever and said, hey, Chuck, I need you to come and be on my panel that I'm doing during NBA All-Star. And Chuck, at that time, he was one of the Falcons, but he had started working on the radio with Frank Ski. He became the sports person.
Yeah, I remember that.
And all those guys, all of the Dirty Bird guys, they became my good friends because we were all the same age. Cornelius was like the older guy. He was the bigger brother. But we were all the same age. And so I act up with them, you know, and with Cornelius, I'm business, but we can have a little fun. But with them, it was just like, those are my buddies. So Bob, Chuck, Jamal. Jamal was my little brother. The original Dirty Bird, that was like my little brother, right? And so, but we're all friends. So it was like when I needed them, Chuck, I need you to be on this panel. This is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of was birthed out of me hanging around them and always asking them, what are you going to do after you retire? Mm-hmm. Because we all know athletes are in the game for 5 years, maybe 10 if they're really, you know, good and keep themselves up. And so I used to always say, like, what do you, after the party, what's the plan? Mm-hmm. And that was like my symposium. And it was a community thing because I would get athletes, entertainers, politicians, and other people who have done wonderful things on a panel to talk about their careers and their entrepreneurial endeavors.
Right.
Because it's like you got to have a plan after your initial whatever that is.
Yeah.
And it was to talk to young people so they can have a plan for their lives. Those people in college, you know, you get out of college thinking the world is yours, and it is to a degree in terms of, you know, whatever I went to school for, I'm going to do. That's what you think, but that's not what it always is.
Right.
And so how are you going to set yourself up to get what you really want? You know, and so that's what that was all about. And from that community program, I did my women's history program that was birthed out of what I would do for my sorority.
Right.
Because I'm a part of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And we would do this program in my hometown. I was the person who created it.
Yes.
And so when I left New Haven, I brought it to Atlanta, and it became a part of, you know, another community program.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with 2 community programs and then added a third, which was all about girls. And that was a leadership conference for girls. Oh. And from there, it was the creation of Sisters of Today and Tomorrow. Yeah.
So you've been busy.
Yeah. So with all that I had created and developed in terms of the relationships from 95 when I first moved to Atlanta, I started to use those in, 2008. For Sisters of Today and Tomorrow. Wow. And that's how I was able to keep connection with a lot of the people. Some of the people, you know, they forgot about me, I forgot about them. But a lot of them, you know, they know that I've always been, you know, doing stuff, you know, and like one of my friends just said, you know, this is business, it's not bullshit.
Shout out to Carla's friends. Those got some real friends, man. They keeping it 100 with you. I like your friends, Carla. Yeah, shout out to Carla's friends because they're going to tell you no smoke. Yeah. They telling you the truth. Yeah. That's what it is. Do you have a preference, Carla? Do you like the community piece more than doing the PR work, or is it an even love?
I think it's an even love because I was just thinking about it. I was writing something. I like to help people.
Yeah, you do.
You know, period.
You do.
So, and that comes in the form of my gifts and talents. And so me helping people, you know, share their business, their story, I like doing that. Me helping that little girl who wants to be a marketing person or a fashion designer and connecting them with my personal friend who's a fashion designer. I love that. I love to see that growth. So for me, the bottom line is I like to help people. And the form in which I help people is what I know how to do best. I'm a networker and I'm a public relations person. I'm going to get the word out there for you and I'm going to make the connection for you.
You have connected me with some good people.
Oh, thank you.
You have. And I know we tee-hee-hee and like we go way back, and we were talking before we started. Only over a year.
Yeah. It was February
23.
Yep, 23.
It went to the shout out to AABJ, right?
Atlanta
That's where
Association of Black Journalists.
Yeah. I went there for the first time, and I saw those pretty glasses on this woman. She was up front taking some pictures. It was a really great conversation that day. It was a panel discussion. And that same day I saw you at shouts out to Petey Franklin.
Petey Franklin.
For his birthday.
So now this goes, Petey is my dude. And that goes way back. So Petey, you remember he used to own a club. And when he own the club. I was working with Courtney's, and he was like, yo, we need your guys to come through. Here's some VIP passes for your guys. I was like, no problem.
No problem.
And we were cool ever since, because I've never been one of those people who hoarder onto a connection or relationship.
God bless you, Carla. God bless you.
So I'm like, Cornelia, you want to go to the club?
Yeah.
Here's a pass. And then I was going because I was young. So every Friday, Saturday night, I'm at the club too.
See, the reason why your star shines brightly in the community, Carla, is because you're not selfish. And in some cases, people are like, I had to struggle and I had to find a way. Mm-hmm. You have to find your own way.
Right.
Some people want to collaborate because they feel like you've already got the momentum and they can add very little to it. Maybe they want to ride it out.
Right.
Sometimes people are in your space to learn, right? Because the wheel is already in motion. There's no need for us to create a new wheel. But how can we learn, right? So it's different things that you learn from somebody like yourself. But the energy is different in Atlanta. Like everybody wants things instantaneously. People want it like overnight. They don't really want to do the work. Like I feel you come from an era, and myself included, like rolling up your sleeves and doing the work. Yeah. And even if that means I'm going to help and support you until I figure out what I'm doing or what pops off for me, but it's almost like we are cupping our hands and you put your foot in here and we hoist you up.
Right.
And then when you get to where you need, you be like, Michelle, come on. Like, I know this person. And you connect. That's how it should be.
Right. That's how it should be.
And everybody ain't moving that way.
Not at all. No, I mean, because our young people, shout out to them, are just a little different.
They're different.
But I also blame us for making them different in that way.
That part.
So the thing is that, like, that's just who I am. That's my father. He like that. My father is a connector, like nobody business. He gonna go wherever. He's been taking pictures before I was born.
Wow.
And so he gonna be wherever, and he gonna meet whoever. And especially if it's a family member who want to be connected to somebody, he's gonna be like, oh, I know such and such. You call my daughter or call this person.
Thanks, Dad.
My father went over to Yale. We have the African American Cultural Center at Yale.
Yes, right? Yes.
I just happened to mention, there's a new system, or he told me, because he's my info guy. He tells me what's going on in my hometown.
Dad. That's what's up, Dad.
And I think he said, it's a person over there. I said, I want to do something there or whatever. My father went over there, met the lady. He was like, what's your information? My daughter gonna give you a call.
Yeah.
Was that not, girl, by the 2 or 4 months later, I was having a whole women's history program there.
Beautiful. I have done that for other people, Carla, but I don't do that for myself.
Yeah.
I find it easier because it's like I can see your story, right? I think you have an understanding of the person or where they're trying to go, and you're like, oh, that's, to you, it's like no brainer. And you go boop, 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 and you connect the people, you talk, you send an email, you make the phone call, done deal.
Right.
Got the interview set up, they're connecting. I've done that a couple of times too, under the Real Chicks Rock umbrella. Oh, you need this, da-da-da. But then when I need to get somewhere, I'm like, I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's uncertainty, or just, I've been, they told me no before. There's so many times you're going to take the no. And so I salute you because you are brave and fearless in that.
Thank you.
Not only for your brand, but for your clients. You fight for your clients, for your people.
I do.
You
do. I fight for them harder than myself.
You do, because when you fight for them, it's an automatic win for the brand. For Chit Chat, communications is going to win. Yeah, because you're fighting for the people. You're like, wait a minute, you showing up, you're talking. Excuse me, are you in charge? Like,
I do.
I sit back and I watch. I'm like, she's amazing, and you're just so easy. You put people at ease, and you get the information, and it just happens. And so I'm like, this is an art because everybody does not have it.
Right.
I may have it from time to time, but you live it. Like, you're like, I'm excited. You're excited for the opportunity to make this happen. And then I see the pictures where you're at the steps, at the Capitol, or you're at somebody's business. Hauling, getting them in the picture and taking the pictures, and I'm like, look at the fruits of her labor. And the people are tearfully glad for everything that you've done.
It's so funny you say that. Some of this stuff, they need to be thinking my sister, my sister's friends, my mother, and my father. And then just a little bit is me. And I say that because, so one of the things, my sister's friend, Aquanetta, we call her Net, she pulled me up one day when I was in college. Because my sister, like I said, my name was Jeanette's little sister.
Jeanette's little sister.
And I had a problem with that, but I didn't mind being Jeanette's little sister because that's my sister.
That's your sister.
And I always kind of felt like I would just be right there near her.
Yeah.
And one day that had let me have it. She said, "You think you're gonna be up under your sister all the time? You think you're gonna be able to live with your sister for the rest of your life?" And I was like, yeah, like why not? And
Netta was like, no.
And she was like, no. That ain't how it works. Wow. You're gonna have to be out here on your own. Wow. You gotta speak up for yourself. And I'm like, I do. I'm looking at her like she crazy. But then I'm looking at my sister, and my sister is looking like, yeah, like I don't have nothing to say because she's right. And I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all are crazy.
They was pushing you out.
But that was pushing me out, and I was in college at that time. And but from that point on, I realized I gotta speak up for myself. And so I had gotten my little line together. Hi, my name is Carla Morrison. I'm the entertainment editor of the Spectrum newspaper. That was my line back in college. And Harry from Public Enemy, I don't know if you remember Harry. He was like the spokesperson of Public Enemy back in the day. And I remember being at a conference at Howard and him like, wow, every time you come up to me, you've introduced, he said, you're awesome.
And then Harry Allen?
Yeah, Harry Allen, yep.
I'm with you. I'm with you, CM. I'm with you.
And he was like, you're awesome. And I'm like, okay. And I kind of started to get my spill, and that became it in college. And then when I graduated, I'm here, I'm a writer, this is what I'm doing. And then Chit Chat came off. And that came kind of, right after college pretty much. And it was like Carla Morrison, Chit Chat Communications. And so me taking the lead, it's because I always think about what Nat said. Like, your sister ain't gonna, be out there for you. You got to do it for yourself. And so when I want something, I have to voice it. I have to find my voice, and I found it.
You have found it. Where'd you come up with the name Chit Chat? It's cute.
Thanks. And everything relates back to all the people I just mentioned. So that came about. A guy that I met when I was visiting my sister at college, he was an Omega, and he was just sitting and talking to me, and I'm like, when I'm around my sister, I'm Jeanette's little sister. I'm not this.
You're not Carla?
Yeah, I'm not the prominent, I am, but then I was not. Like now I'd be like, I can hold my own Jeanette. Like, okay, but and he just, sitting there, basically entertaining me, keeping me company. And then I was like, because I want to be like Oprah Winfrey. I want to have my own talk show. He was like, I see you having your own talk show. Chit Chat with Carla Morrison.
There we go.
And I was like,
there we go.
That was it. Yeah.
That was it.
That was it. Because I love to talk.
Yeah.
I used to get in trouble in the 1st through 4th grade. Carla, she just likes to talk to her friends, and when she's reprimanded, she gets the angry face.
Oh boy.
And because I love to talk, and that's who I am.
And now talking causes you to, helps you with your living, your livelihood.
Yeah, it really does.
It's amazing. It's amazing. What do you do, Carla? Because you're busy all the time. I mean, we talked before show started. I see you everywhere. You're in the right places. Don't get me wrong. You're in the right place, doing the right thing. How do you wind down? When's your wind down time? You do?
Yeah, I do. And it's so funny because there's 24 hours in a day.
Yes.
And people see me, they may see me 2 to 4 hours. And then, I might have to use some brain work, writing, doing whatever, but I get my time in, thanks to Betty Morrison. If she ain't teach me and my sister nothing else, self-care is the best care. And that didn't just come about in the past 5 to 10 years. We grew up knowing self-care is the best care. Being selfish, taking care of you first is more important than anything else.
Right.
And so I get my time in, you know. Every blue moon I might run myself, you know, and that's if I just really want to do something spectacular, you know, with the client, really. But other than that, no, I take care of myself, you know. I take that just as serious as I do doing work for a client, and I take that very seriously.
Very seriously. Yeah. You sure do. You sure do. You've been running. COVID had us slow down, and we were all thinking, what's the meaning of life? Like, we were probably like, oh, is our brand going to make it? Is our business going to make it through it? Then we're coming out of the other side, and you're everywhere now. You are guns a-blazing. I mean, I seen your work at the Praise House. Yes. And that's Charmaine Minifield. Yes, Charmaine Minifield doing great work, because it's on the road. It's moved since Emory, and it's gone to different. And I'm just like, Carla was part of that. She was part of that stuff. And then I saw these beautiful, this couple, this entrepreneur, this restaurant thing happening.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get them on Fox 5 or something?
I had them everywhere. I had them literally everywhere. And that PR ran for 3 months, because it was like December, we kicked it off, and we print, radio, all of that. And then January, it was on Atlanta News First.
Yes.
They were everywhere, but they had been on WSB, Fox 5, that just in December alone. And then the next month in February, we did a whole business thing at their location with Derek Bowes and WAOK. So that PR been running. And plus, now their place stays full.
And that was the whole goal, just to get people in the door, right?
Yeah, just to resonate, because they've been around for 30 years, but they moved back across the street. And, you know, people are like, they know where they're going, and they go straight there.
Yeah.
Well, and if they don't see you, oh, you're not there no more? That's what they're thinking. No, they're just across the street in a whole new beautiful building, you know.
Wow.
And so I made that happen for them.
You sure did, because I seen it in my reels.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I seen it. I said, Carla's out here working. And they were so happy. And that's where I saw the tears of joy.
Yeah.
They were just really excited because and shouts out to them, because again, it's tools out here that we don't know that we need, or how to get them going.
And they didn't know it. They did not know it.
Yeah.
I was just like, Jay, let me handle this for you. Monica, let me do the PR for you. Y'all need to hire CHIT Communications. And they were like, okay, you know, but they didn't understand it until after that. Then they was like, wow. And even Jason, because Jason known around the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
it's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Because your food is dynamic.
Right.
So I need to make sure everybody know. And so if you just allow me to do my thing.
Wow.
You know, and they allowed me to do my thing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you. I'm getting some income tax money. I'm going to talk to you, Chit. I cannot wait. Is there a client, Carla, you would like to work with, or person that you'd like to work with that you haven't yet?
The types of clients that I would like to work with now are more medical clients.
Really?
And I want to continue on my journey of my attorneys. I have now attorneys under my...
Really?
Yeah.
Why so? Why those people?
Well, the attorneys, both of them, the attorneys and medical clients, they actually have the budget. Like, to be for real, that's being 100. They have the budget. And again, at this point in the game, like you just spilled out all the things that all the people I know and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
People need to pay for that. They can't take it for granted.
I know, Carla.
You know, and it's like, I don't mind helping people. I really don't, because I've done it all my life. But however, Carla gotta live.
Carla gotta live.
And I'm much older than I was when I first started.
Yes.
And I'm trying to live a good fourth quarter of my life. Third quarter, whatever it is. I really
You right.
And so in order to do that, I need to work with the clients who have the budget, the corporate clients. Because see,
Yes.
I've been small business.
Yes, you have.
I've
You
been
have.
athlete, entertainer. Athletes have it.
Some entertainers do. Some
And
entertainers do.
some of the entertainers do. My attorney client, I love the work that he does because he's about social justice.
I love that too.
Yeah, and he got the budget.
She said, and he got the budget.
So it's like purposeful.
Yes.
You know, purposeful, and I can be paid what I'm worth, and I appreciate that. You know? And I appreciate when people appreciate me, not only by telling me, but by paying you. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
That makes me feel really good.
Yeah. It makes us all feel good that we could get paid what we're worth. But you know, oftentimes in the Black and brown communities, we don't always have it. Yeah. And that's where the financial literacy has to come in. To help educate people that when you get the money, this is how you continue to grow the money so that you can put it in places to help your business keep going. So that's just an educational conversation that we just need to continue to have. Versus that when we get it, we blow it. On whatever that is. So if you want to keep the business going, you gotta, just like keeping the lights on at your house, you allocate, or there's a certain amount for operating expenses.
Yes, operating expenses. Your marketing expenses.
Your marketing. Yeah. We don't think that way because we think that we could do it on our own. But
and going back to my client with the restaurant,
yes,
they thought that. And he even said that. He was like, Carla, we thought we were doing something this whole time because, there was the husband, wife team. The wife does social media all the time. He was like, we thought we was doing something.
Yeah.
He was like, you showed us something different.
Yeah.
Like, they was in mainstream media behind, because I'm like, I know your story better than anybody. I'm a customer. Wow. I'm a customer.
Yeah.
I know your story better than anybody in terms of, where y'all came from. And the food is just so good.
Yeah, and you like food. You're a foodie. You like good foodie.
Oh, my God. And then it was like, I didn't just bring the media. I brought my political contacts.
Wow.
So it was like, wow. You got us proclamations. Yeah,
sure
I got
did.
You. Yeah,
sure
not
did.
just one, a couple.
Yeah.
I got you a couple. City, county. We can get the state too if we need to. And year 35, we'll do the state.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ain't nothing to play with, Carla.
Thank you.
You really, but you enjoy what you do.
I do. I love making people happy. I love supporting people. That's just who I am as a person. Because as a little girl, like I told you, I'd be right there and my mother be acting up too, getting her makeup. Where's my liner? Where's this? And I'd be like, let me get it. And I'd get it for her because I want my mother to look good. She's, doing her modeling thing. So whatever you needed, I'm going to find it. Let me just find it, And that's just who I am. That probably comes from my grandmother, my mama. Vernell Graves, rest in peace.
Yes.
She always gave us what we wanted, anything we wanted, and so I'm kind of the same way. I like for people to get what they want, and when it comes in specifically business, I want you want your business to be, everywhere and people know about it. I can make that happen for you.
Do you find that you need about 30 days, or it depends on the type of business or the message that has to get out? It may take a little longer than 30 days to see turnaround in the business.
Right. So I say 30 to 90 days. I can make stuff happen.
I know you can.
Yeah. Because even with the restaurant thing, they took forever to make their decision to hire me. And not because they didn't want to, they just needed to figure out where
the funding is usually the thing.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, y'all need to do this before the year is up because this year is your 30th, not next year.
Right, so we got to start now.
Yeah, and then, so it was like, okay. And when they did, within a week, we made all that happen. No, 2 weeks.
I know.
Yeah, but I don't suggest that. I don't like working like that because that's where you burn out because you're not just doing a regular, few hours. You're doing like from 7 in the morning to 7 at night, just trying to get all the stuff written, the content creation, blasting it out through social media, but then also making your phone calls to your personal contacts at the networks, and the print to make it happen. So 30 to 90 days is really what you need to effectively do a campaign.
Okay. I'm gonna be your client.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring you on here first so you could get the inner workings, because you've sent people my way to be on the show.
Yeah.
Which I thank you for that, because it was great. It was great.
I got some more.
Yeah. But I wanted people to hear your story, because you are a light in Atlanta.
Thank you.
And a lot of people may not know that, but I sit and watch.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to just watch. And I see how people react to you, how they respond. And the fact that people are like, yeah, no, Carla, she helped me with my business. She helped me with my brand.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Thanks.
And you have staying power. Because 30 years is nothing to sneeze at. Right?
Yeah,
because most businesses go under the first couple of years.
Right.
So the fact that you're still around, and now you're using the social media platforms to even more.
Yeah.
But it's really the grassroots approach that I appreciate. The personalization, the wanting to know the person's story, which I find people don't take the time to do.
Right. Everything is just so fast. They're so fast. But I know we're going to be ending. And if I don't do this, I will be mad at myself.
Go ahead.
ChitChatCommunications.biz. That is my website.
All right. We was going to get all of that.
No, I felt like I needed to.
And we're going to say it again. We're going to say it again.
Communications.biz.
Yes.
The communications is with an S. And .biz.
Oh.
I felt like I needed to say that, because I'm like, we talked and everything, but I didn't share the information. And a good PR person is going to always make sure you have a way to contact them.
And a good host always asks, how can the people find you? So that's where I was going to throw you the alley-oop and say, how can the people find you?
I got more information.
Yeah. So how can the people find you, Carla?
So they can find me on social media at ChitChatCom. That's ChitChatComm. That's social media, all platforms. They can call me, because I still actually pick up the phone, 404-319-2130. And they can hit me up on my website, through my website, which is chitchatcommunications.biz.
What else? You got any things happening, Carla? Any big clients?
I got a lot of stuff.
You got a lot of stuff going on. 2024 is looking good for you.
The first quarter was fantabulous.
It was.
You saw all that stuff that was happening. And so that was great. And right now, we're doing stuff with Juneteenth, ATL.
I was going to say, that's your favorite holiday.
Yeah, I go all out.
You don't play.
Yeah. So that, and Family Food Fest.
Oh.
That's on Father's Day.
Okay.
And it's here, Family Food Fest, ATL.
Where's it going to be?
At the Georgia Depot.
Nice.
Yeah, so we got that going on. Also, the Greater Boston Morehouse College Alumni Association is having their House on the Vineyard August 5th through the 11th on Martha's Vineyard.
Nice.
And I am doing the national PR for that.
I want to go to that.
You can come
Martha's
on, girl.
Vineyard is nice.
Yes, it is.
It is beautiful.
Yes, and we're going to have a good time.
I like that. I got to get reconnected. I let you slide out of my mints, and you over here doing stuff. I used to hook up and see you at spaces and meet people. I got to get back on your calendar.
That's the big thing. The Georgia, the Greater Boston Morehouse Alumni
Beautiful.
Association.
Any plans for Bowie State? Because last year you did the bowling tournament.
We're doing the we're doing that again.
Participated in that.
Yes, and we're doing it again. This year it's going to be in June, because we want to make sure that all the students get back home first, so they can come, so people can actually see these are our students that we've been supporting. I'm the president of the Georgia chapter for Bowie State University.
Okay. Yeah. Tell the people where they can reach you one more time. I don't know if you gave a phone number.
404-319-2130, and website chitchatcommunications.biz.
This was awesome.
Yeah,
this was fun. Wasn't it fun?
Yeah,
this was good. This is good. Listen, this is my time. You know me, Real Chicks Rock. I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I have a website, realchicksrock.com. Go out there and cop your t-shirt. You know you need one for the summer. Don't wait. Don't delay. And as I always end the show, I always end it this way. One of my favorite people in radio was the late, great Frankie Crocker. And he would say, may you live to be 100 and I live to be 100 minus a day, so I wouldn't know that beautiful people like you had passed away. Until next time, take care, be well, and continue to rock on.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
There I go, there I go, there I go, there.